Hi, this is Michael Steinbacher with Electric Universe Geology Earth News. This is an area southwest of Kandahar. It was in the news a couple of years ago. Marines took geologists somewhere over here and they found an awful lot of rare earth elements, I believe trillions of dollars worth. So it caused me to look up the area just out of curiosity. This is supposedly a volcano about 2 miles across. It doesn't appear to be a volcano. The formations seem to be just normal mountains made out of welded tuff or produced by something using that process where wind blows material against the windward side of obstructions and they grow. Anyway, it's sort of gray over here and reddish over here. And when you zoom out, some interesting things happen. Eventually it becomes gray over here and red over here. It reverses itself from what's in the center. And it begins to remind me of a yin-yang, a Korean flag, with one side swirling in and the other side swirling in the other way. And then all of a sudden you start to notice roundish lobes of formations surrounding it. And these are mountains, and they're all black and gnarly looking. I've seen photographs here where they referred to the mountain as the terrible black. But you can see these patterns developing around the yin-yang. And I guess it could be a coincidence, but it kind of looks like the center of a hurricane. And if you look at it with terrain, you can start to see the mountains. So they surround it here, and then there's more mountains up here going to the east. These are the Himalayas coming out of this lobe, as I like to call it, of mountains. And you have Iran down here on the other side, almost like a mirror image, going up to the northwest. And it continues. So you have what looks like a mirror image to a degree, with mountains coming out of here, surrounding this, swinging down this way and actually up more. And then they come out of Iran, they come across Turkey, they go across the Black Sea, which has 50,000 feet of sediment in it, and the eastern Mediterranean, which has 50,000 feet of sediment in it, as if these were great basins that were filled in and almost leveled off and maybe even started to grow, as this might have been happening. This comes over through Romania, Bulgaria, comes over Italy, and it kind of swings around in a real sharp hook. So this might be a process that happened within the memory of people. Because while this was happening, apparently, there were people down here in Egypt or Sinai seeing a pillar of fire, pillar of smoke to the east. And in India, I've asked some mythologists with the group, did people see anything to the west that might have been similar to the pillar of fire, pillar of smoke? And one of them said that Indra was a man of fire and smoke that was seen to the west over the Himalayas. I think, well, gee, maybe somebody was watching this looking west and somebody's watching it looking east, seeing something over Afghanistan that's creating these mountains that are similar to the mountains that go up through Canada and down through Mexico that surround the lobe in the southwest U.S., which I spoke about in Albuquerque during my talk in March. That's the first video in this series. So, is this possible? There's some other coincidences to the south of the Alps, which actually sort of the mountains hook here and then kind of continue down through Spain. Come over, there's a hook this way. There's mountains that seem to come over this way. But there's a big desert here, burnt sand, lots of basalt, lots of burning areas. And to the north of the Himalayas, we have Mongolia and the Gobi Desert. This area is interesting. It's the Tibet Plateau. And there's mountains, but the mountains are sticking up through 15 to 16,000 feet of sediment. That's how high the sediments are that surround the mountains here. As if there was a great flood that swept into the Tibet Plateau, and it seems to have emptied here. This seems to have been the drainage point, where you have drainages coming down through here. Let's shift back over to terrain again, so we can see the drainages that come down. And then the ocean right here, the Bay of Bengal. This has 50, 60,000 feet of sediment, where it seems a lot of this material was draining into here, trying to fill it up, making it a shallow sea. So this might have all been one event that completely changed the shape of Asia and Europe, utterly. So it looks completely different today than it might have prior to these events, if this is not a coincidence. So just one way of looking at it, a little bit different eye. Who knows? Thank you.